booth mode, no, 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 Skeletor, Skeletor, no, 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 He-Man, He-Man, no, 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 no. Hello there, Optimus Prime here. It's been a while. Been doing stuff, life and all that. One thing I have been doing is sorting out this room to become a bit more of an office, which has made me be able to record these easier in theory. But in the time that we haven't had any videos from me, I know Simon's been getting stuff out there, and Exin Ferris has started her own channel, and Paddy is moved probably. I have no idea. Anyway, so regardless of all that, I've been amassing a gigantic pile of toys over the last few months, most of which I haven't even opened yet, specifically to be able to make videos of. So just here there's some G.I. Joe figures, and some Star Wars figures. There's some more Star Wars figures. Some more G.I. Joe. There's a Transformer. There's oh look, another G.I. Joe man. Hello. Yes, some more G.I. Joe. I just hit myself in the face with Flint. Might have been Lady J, who knows. But another thing that I've been getting quite a bit of lately, which I think actually my last video was on, is Masters of the Universe Origins. I picked up a fair few figures, and I thought I would kick things off on the review front with Battle Armor Skeletor. And what's the point in doing Battle Armor Skeletor if you're not going to do Battle Armor He-Man? Ooh. Now, both of these figures are from the Masters of the Universe Origins Deluxe line, which basically means they are a standard figure packaged on larger bubbles with some accessories. Now, we could debate whether or not having a flame effect, an additional hand, and a spare head really denotes deluxe, considering the standard release of He-Man had this figure, well, similar figure to this, his sword, his axe, and his shield. Or did it? Well, no, I'm second guessing myself. Anyway, regardless, a few extra accessories did not necessarily a deluxe figure make. However, this is what it is. This is what Skeletor is. So I'm going to have a better look at these bad boys, open them up, have a little play, and tell you what I think of them, which is probably going to be that I love them, because so far I haven't had anything bad to say about the Masters of the Universe Origins figures. I will find something I don't like at some point, I promise. Anyway, I'm going to switch over to booth mode seamlessly using editing, and we'll see you in a moment. Booth mode, no, 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 Skeletor, Skeletor, no, 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 He-Man, He-Man, no, 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 no. Anyway, enough of that. Right, so here we have He-Man in all of his boxed glory. Careful not to hit the wire. So he comes with his standard. I've got a new ring light, which is, I thought was going to be amazing, but you can just see the ring light. Boo! So anyway, you can see, it's probably better to actually get him out, but his exceptionally surprised expression. But it also does come with, which is actually a really nice touch, which I'll get out in a second, is this second head, which is very much akin to the original toy He-Man head. So I'm going to have some fun with that. Right, so that's He-Man. Skeletor also comes with two heads, a grumpy Skeletor head and a happy Skeletor head. Additional hand for holding his ram staff, sword, and shield. The packaging itself, again, with all of the Origins line, it's just based upon purely the original sort of 1980s packaging, and it looks nigh on identical. The deluxe figures from the original range, or I'm trying to think, the only ones I ever saw were those weird spinny figures when I was on holiday in Spain once, that I never actually saw over in the UK, if you know who those are. But they had the wider packaging. Again, it's debatable whether a few additional accessories a deluxe figure makes, but you know, Hasbro do a similar thing, so sure. So it gives you the play modes, very exciting, and of course all of the current figures. Well, the current figures when this dude was released, which is a little while ago now. As I said, I've had a pile of figures sat here for what seems like forever. And again, they've got this really amazing. I'm going to take some pictures of this so you can actually see it better than the light is letting you. But the artwork on these is just phenomenal. It's really evocative of the 1980s style, and they just look so good. Which is almost a shame to rip them open and throw the packaging away. To be fair, I haven't thrown any of the packaging away from these. I'm glad I'm not an inbox collector, because this one was somewhat creased upon delivery. I believe it was from Amazon, so no surprises there. Again, same box. You can hit him and he gets more injured, but we'll play with that in a moment. So I'm just going to stop for a moment. I'm going to take some photos of these boxes so that Simon doesn't tell me off, and then I will crack them open and we'll have a look at the figures. And here they are in all of their glory. So let's start with Mr. Skeletor. He's looking particularly grumpy with his neon greeny yellow face. I've seen a couple of people have issues with the paint apps and them not quite being in the right place, but mine appears to be pretty good, so I'm not going to complain about that. He comes with his ubiquitous ram staff and his shield, Scully shield there, and a little slot to put his half of the weird half sword on his back, which is pretty cool. Again, they have all the same posability as all the rest of the Origins figures, so way more posable than the original. Posable knees, posable feet with ankle tilt, arms have posability in the shoulders and the elbow and the hand. It's got lots of movement there, and the heads are ball jointed. They're looking pretty swish. Pretty swish. Now, before we get onto the exciting play features, let's pop him back down. But I've moved his feet about now, so he's bound to fall over. Nope. Let's take a moment to have a look at his arch rival, the man of He-Man. So, let's talk about his face. What's going on there? Is he supposed to be angry? Is he supposed to be surprised? Why has he not got any other paint on his eyes other than, well, I suppose most of them don't have any other paint on the eyes, but it looks really, really noticeable when he has his weird, wide-eyed expression. Now again, I've seen this painted particularly poorly, but this one actually has come out pretty well. I like it. Despite the weird eyes that follow you no matter which way you go. You can't see me, but I'm moving from side to side. It's not too bad. The battle axe is battle axey. Again, he's got the slot on his back to hold the power sword, or his half of the power sword. We'll get onto that later. Only issue is my one appears to have had all of his fingers broken. Some kind of accident, possibly involving an attack track. Putting his hand in the treads. Ah, my mighty hand! Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop that hand off. Be gone with you. And yes, I know I can fix it by boiling some water and then reshaping the fingers, but right now I can't bother. I'm just going to pop the grippy hand. A little bit of a paint smudge on his bicep. And pop in the sword of power. Boop. Now the thing I hate most about these half swords is they really don't hold them very well, and also they kind of look great from one angle, well, more than one angle, but as soon as you put them sideways they are two-dimensional and chuff. So ew, don't like that. One thing I do miss a lot is spring-loaded spinny attack chops, but I'm not entirely sure that Battle Armor He-Man ever had that. I never had Battle Armor He-Man, you see. I only had regular He-Man. But what makes him Battle Armor He-Man is his, well, battle armor. He has battle armor with his He-Man logo. Notice that it is both an H and an M, denoting that he is indeed He-Man. Not sure when that logo came into effect. It sort of appeared a little bit later on, possibly with Battle Armor He-Man. So, the wonderful, wonderful effect that these figures have, which was actually also used in some Hot Wheels toys around the same time. The idea of crashing and having some form of battle damage created with a very, very exciting function that involved basically a turning wheel. So when you press into his chest, it'll flip round and show battle damage. Obviously they have this on his battle armor because having his ribs exposed and blood and organs and whatnot possibly wasn't what they wanted to show for a 1980s kids toy. McFarlane will probably do it today if they ever got the license. I don't want them ever to get the license. So, what's supposed to happen is I would take this weapon wielded by Skeletor or somebody else. I'm only using this one because it's quite solid, and chop upon his body, and that would create the effect of battle damage. Right, let's see how this goes. Hiya! Hiya! Oh, it worked! That's actually pretty cool. And that didn't require too much effort. Let's do it again. Hiya! Two strikes. Two strikes, He-Man. Yeah. That's pretty cool. The paint flaky or whatever. But that's it. Two. No more than two. Two is all you're allowed. And then what you can do is you can go home and get a nice change of armour. You roll this thing up, which is actually really quite tricky. And then it just pops back. And here's He-Man with the HM logo. Once again, not to be confused with H and M, which is completely different. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, not hitting it hard enough. Need a little bit of a. Yeah. Okay, I'm impressed enough. That is all I hoped it would be. The Hot Wheels toys at the time had it on their bonnets, and their bonnets would be like a rubberized plastic, and then the front of the car would have the front sculpted, and on the other side it would have like dents, and it would flip up, and the rubberized or plastic bonnet would pop up, and pretty much the same effect. Because oh dear, oh, I pressed in and giving him some additional battle damage. And Skeletor's the same. Power of my finger. My finger is more powerful than Skeletor. There you go. Some pectoral scrapage. No wonder he looks so grumpy. Look at your grumpy face, Skeletor. So grumpy. Hey, let's make you look happy. Pop his head off. I'm assuming this is going to be That's going to make an annoying noise. So there we go. This is Skeletor in his natural form of being headless. So we'll just pop that grumpy head back there and get this happy head. On it goes. Pop! Oh, that's really tight. That's what she said. There we go. Oh dear. That was quite effort. Yep, so there we go. Nice happy Skeletor. Oh, let's jib me up there. Let's just pop him back there, and because I don't think I've shown it before, let's have a quick talk about the terribleness of the two half swords. There we go. Now, annoyingly, well, not annoyingly, originally when He-Man was first a thing, there was a whole storyline about the two halves of the power sword. Skeletor had one half, He-Man had the other, and only when they were combined would they grant the power of the Masters of the Universe. And also, combined, they formed the key for Castle Grayskull. Which was cool, but it did mean you had two half floppy swords. I seem to recall the original ones being a little bit thicker, but I could be mistaken. There is a new version of He-Man and Skeletor coming out soon, where He-Man at least comes with a solid sword, which is really what you want. But these two, they slot together quite nicely, and it does actually form a complete and solid sword pretty well. So you could forget having one half and then instead utilising his grippy hand. Pop that in there. It's a complete bluey, silvery power sword, which is pretty cool. The new version that's coming out, which is exactly the same as the original version of Origins He-Man, I might mention, has the solid sword, but it does come with the original sculpted head. Damn you, He-Man! Right, well, that's all going very wrong. Stay. I just want to show you the head. So yeah, the sculpt there is pretty much identical to the original He-Man figure, and is going to be what's on the second version, or I suppose the third version of Origins He-Man. And that concludes today's conversation about Masters of the Universe, Origins, Battle Armor He-Man, and Battle Armor Skeletor. Two very solid figures. Really nice, a nice addition to anybody's Origins collection. And yeah, in a lot of ways I kind of prefer them to the normal versions, so interesting to see how I'm going to display these. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for another review of something. Goodbye to you. Completely forgot one thing. The comic that comes with these guys. Again, it's really very much like the comics that came with the original figures. Sort of random sort of story that doesn't bear any real relationship to what's going on. Although these are much more like the current toys, whereas the original ones, the what was going on in the stories was very different to to the cartoons and the comics at the time. But fun fact, this one came with my He-Man, who was a European release, and this one came with my Skeletor, who was an American release, or whichever way around was correct. But this one actually has text, which makes the story so much more interesting, because the European ones, because you have several different languages in play, they don't have any words, but this one has a little story which you can read with your eyes and your brain. So I thought I'd just show you that fun fun fact, which almost makes me want to go back and get some of the American ones so I can read the stories rather than imagine what exciting tales may be being told here. Anyway, that's for another time. Goodbye again. Have a lovely time. I'll see you soon with more exciting videos. I've got a whole pile of He-Man's origin stuff here just waiting to be reviewed.
Fingers on plastic.